Testing, testing. Testing, testing. All right, looks like we are good. All right, let's get started. So I don't have a face cam today set up right now. And I know you can't really see much, but I'll explain what we're seeing, and then I'm going to quickly change the camera in just a minute. But welcome in, everybody. My name is Andrew, and this is Rocket Future. We have a live view of the OLM right now, and it looks like the staircase on the OLM, they've put some holiday or Christmas lights up on those staircases. And they actually have some lights up on the quick disconnect arm too. Let me change some exposure and stuff, and I can give you a better shot. But I just saw on the NSF stream that it looks like there was some movement in the high bay. So hopefully that is the indication that they're about to start this rollout. So it sounds like well, just movement in general is good, which we should have an answer for whether or not there's a rollout or not happening imminently. But I think we're probably just about to see a rollout. Of course, I'm down here at the launch complex, so we will see the ship's arrival down here at the launch complex. Top right, I'll try to track approximately where the Starship is. The red dot is where Starship's at, and the blue dot is us. So it'll make its way down Highway 4, and we should have beautiful views of it coming in. So let me adjust some camera settings so you guys can see these Christmas lights on the launch mount, and then I got to wipe the lens on this camera so we're ready to go. But welcome in Detroit Mission Control, welcome in Space Girl Falcon, welcome in Tony, welcome in Damon, David, and Edit. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. Denny's, welcome in. Dennis, Gabor, welcome, Gabor. Brian Reynolds, hello, Brian. Good to see you. So I've adjusted some camera, and you can see this a little bit better. The lens needs a little love. I need to get one of those wipes and clean up that lens a little bit. So just give me a few more minutes. Again, it looks like we have an indication that the Starship S28 rollout should be happening imminently. So we will have live views of the ship's arrival here once it gets here. But just a couple more minutes of setup for me. But we're live, we're ready to go. Hopefully this thing happens tonight. This is our third time out here to catch this rollout. Hopefully tonight is the night. Glad to see so many people here at this hour. I know people are tuning in across the world. Let me know what time it is where you're watching from. Go ahead and put that right on in chat. Let me know what time it is where you are. All right, lens is now clean. Tony says thanks for the map, no problem. Space Girl Falcon loves all the lights. Damon says it's 9:34 in South Africa. And Brian says it's 2:35 in Delaware. It is 1:35 here Central Time down here at Starbase, of course. Boca Chica, Texas, the southeastern corner of Texas on the Gulf of Mexico. And we're just about as far south as you can get in Texas before you cross over into Mexico. And this is where SpaceX is building, testing, and launching the world's largest, most powerful rocket of all time. And we're going to see one of those giant rockets roll down the highway right next to me here, hopefully shortly here tonight. It is the upper stage, also known as Starship. So that's what we're hoping to see tonight. If anybody's keeping an eye on any other feeds, give me a shout if there's still movement going on in the high bay. But like I said, I went live because I started to see some movement. So that should be an indication, one way or the other, of what we will or will not see tonight. But I'm feeling pretty good about this. This is the view of the highway that we will see Starship S28 roll down, and it's gonna be very clear when it's coming down that road. It looks like a dark road, but we'll be able to see it nice, really well when it's that close. So I'm all set up and I'm ready to go for this potentially imminent rollout of Starship S28. We hope that S28 is the next vehicle to launch on a booster, a fully integrated flight test of Starship IFT-3, most likely with its booster 10. So this is a historic moment. Ship 28 rolling out to the launch complex here for its testing campaign, some upcoming static fires. Stephanie B says S28 is out of the hangar, folks. That is some great news. We expect to see this thing happening then. This is awesome. Space Girl Falcon also reporting that S28 has rolled out of the bay. That's awesome news, folks. I'm going to start configuring my multi-stream so we can get live on all the other platforms as well. So give me a couple minutes here. SPMT is decorated with Christmas light, reindeer, Santa, and trees. That should be cool to see. Again, I'm just configuring some stuff for our restream to connect to all the other platforms that we're going to be going live, so I'm just getting that configured. But we got live views of the orbital launch mount, the tower, its Christmas lights, and we'll be moving the cameras around and stuff, and we should expect that ship to be down here not too long from now. Okay. We should be good now. So, welcome in. Who we got? Pooey, you is here. Good to see you. And laser light of snowflakes on the ship. That's awesome. Brian says, anyone know what caused S25's RUD? I bet you SpaceX does. We don't quite know the reasonings yet, but there are some good theories out there. I'm sure we're going to learn more about that soon. The truck's lighting is configured to shine green lights. That is amazing. Popo is on site on Rover Cam. Very cool. They just turned on the lighting. Awesome. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We are now live on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. We're all over the place right now. And this is a live view that you have right now of the OLM and Launchpad. And as you can see on the top right-hand side of the screen, we have a approximate location tracker, not tracker, but we are manually updating that to show where the Starship is that is currently rolling down the highway, or will be rolling down the highway down here to the launch site soon. So we're going to have this huge, giant second stage of the world's largest, most powerful rocket ever drive right by us on this highway. I'll show you the highway again right now. But in the meantime, you can see those holiday lights up on the pad, and there's some up on the ship quick disconnect arm as well. I can show you that now. But welcome in, everybody on all the different platforms. Yeah, thanks for being here, and I'll show you what we got for some camera views. Looks like some folks actually up there on the ship disconnect arm, working up there right now. We saw those headlamps or those flashlights going on, and I showed you that view of up the highway that we would be seeing the ship arrive from. NSF shows ship 28 sitting outside of bay. All right. That is the right step in the right direction. They should have to be on the road by about 2 a.m. to make it down here on time before the intermittent road delay ends. But we've seen them go past the end of the delay, but I expect them to get it on the road very, very shortly now. But in the meantime, I can keep checking up what's going on up in the ship disconnect. We can see if there's any work going on up there. And we'll just, I'll keep panning around different things that I'm seeing here at Starbase while we wait for the ship to arrive. I'm going to try to bring the microphone closer to the camera so I can work on both things at once. Yeah, I just took a look at NSF's cam as well, and it does seem like it's just sitting right off the highway. So that's good. We should see that roll out onto the highway soon. And then these rollouts seem to be getting quicker and quicker each time. So we'll see how quickly they can make it down here. If anybody has any guesses, put exactly how long you think it'll take a rollout from the moment it touches the street on the build site to the moment it pulls into the launch site. Let me know how long you think that's going to take. I guess 40 minutes, says Stephanie B. 45 minutes to an hour, says Brian. Good guesses. I think those are some good guesses for sure. There seems to be some folks leaving the launch complex, some SpaceX workers, which I think it would make sense if some folks were needed down at the launch site to assist with the rollout, or if there's people that are working at the launch complex that have a shift ending soon, I would imagine that they would probably ship them over to the other side of the build site or whatever, just so they wouldn't get stuck here all night with the rollout. Just some theories there, but definitely seems like there's some people heading towards the build site, which could be an indication of some progress or not. We'll have to just wait and see. But taking a look at the entrance to the facility here, and the ramp up to the pad, everything looks ready to receive a ship. So we're just gonna hold tight for a while until we see this thing on the road and until we get it down here at the launch complex. I am also covered in mud. I swear I am absolutely covered in mud, head to toe. I can't wait to get some of it off of me later on. You can see that the lift is coming down the OLM right now, or the orbital launch tower, the OLIT. That crew lift is coming down, the elevator. There's also a lift up at the OLM itself. I probably can't get a great angle of it right now. Even if we could get an angle of the lift itself, I can't get an angle of what they're doing up there. So I'm probably not going to try to get a shot of that. But there is some work happening on the OLM. There's also some work happening up at the ship quick disconnect arm. And otherwise, it looks like things are pretty cleared out here. Hopefully they are preparing to receive a ship. And it really does look like they are kind of preparing for that. So there's pictures being taken by guys in a man lift. That might be the delay. Gotcha. The lift is at the prod site with the ship. The ship is being held up with photos. I'm sure Elon is sitting on Santa's leg. Yeah, I'm occasionally checking in on the NSF feed just to see what the progress is, and it's still just hanging out at the entrance to the build site. So we're going to want to see this roll out onto the road really any minute here, so they can get here before the end of the road delay. They have 1 hour left in their delay scheduled. But if you're hanging out with us here tonight, don't forget to do what you can to help support the channel with commenting, liking, subscribing, all the stuff that you usually hear us say on YouTube. All those things really help us. So it's free to like and subscribe on YouTube, and on Twitch, drop us a follow. On X, you can drop us a follow there as well. All those things really help. And we also any way you can help the channel, we appreciate it very much. We're gonna keep pushing this channel up and over until we just keep growing the community. Having a lot of fun down here, and it's been a while since we've had one of these late nights. Well, it hasn't really been that long since we've had a late night. I was literally just out here last week, but it feels like we haven't had a lot of them recently. But I always like being down here at Starship, or at Starbase. You can tell it's late. But some of these nights are the most rewarding when you're out here in the middle of the night, just waiting for something to happen. And then when it finally does, it just makes it more and more worth it. So I hope y'all will enjoy this rollout of Starship S28. And we're going to get some absolutely beautiful, beautiful, brilliant views of it coming into the launch complex. I do generally like to hang out on the receiving side of the rollouts. So if it's rolling from the build site to the launch site, I like to be on the launch site side. If it's going from the launch site to the build site, I like being at the build site side. So from here, we're going to get, kind of that moment where Starship S28 enters the launch complex, which of course is where it should eventually take off from. So I think it's an important angle to get. And that's why we're down here at the launch site. That is why we're down here at the launch site. So yeah, if you look at the map on the top right, the red block is approximately the build site where the Starship is currently located. And the blue dot you see is us. I can actually cut that right side out a little bit more. We don't need all of that there. Make that a little bit smaller. That's better. Hopefully Santa weight doesn't strain the SPMT and stall them en route. Hopefully not. Last time I had a rollout stream, the SPMT did end up breaking down, and it took them forever to fix it. I actually took a nap in my Jeep at that point. But hopefully we don't have something similar again. That was one of the final rollouts of Ship 25, it must have been. Still no movement. Police cars with light on, but waiting for more pictures. Thank you for that update. I appreciate that very much. Good sign that there's the sheriff vehicles ready to safely escort Ship 28 down to the launch site. So we're just holding tight, folks. Waiting for this rollout to start, and then not too long after it starts, we'll start getting some views. It'll take a few minutes for it to get down here, but we'll be set up and ready for it when it does. Of course, these are views of the Starship, the Ship Quick disconnect arm up on the orbital launch tower. Got some good lights going on up there, and we had some folks working up there earlier, so I'm just kind of zoomed in to see if we still see some more work happening. Gee, and I thought this Ship Quick disconnect was being fixed when actually all they did was install lights. No, they definitely did. They did some serious work to it last few days. So yeah, they're well on their way of making their modifications or repairs to it after the last launch. I'm sure they might still have some more to go, but good progress. Good progress. Still seeing no movement on the ship. They really got to get a move on here if they want to meet the end of this window. But like I said, we've seen them go over the window before, so probably not a huge deal. But I would expect them to get on the road here any minute. The Jeep is so muddy. What has been the average transit time from prod site to pad before? It used to take over an hour, but the last couple times I think it's been well under an hour. It seems like they're getting quicker and quicker each time. So I don't know. Somebody had a guess of 45 minutes to an hour, which is definitely a safe bet. I would say that's pretty accurate. But we can time it and see how long it takes this time. Y'all, I just posted a picture of my setup here with the Jeep. So we have a pretty cool setup with the Jeep and the screen and the camera and the Starlink and everything. But the whole entire side of the Jeep is covered in mud. I am also covered in mud, and I just posted both of those pictures to our X account. So if you want to take a look at the photo on X, you can see all the mud. I'll post a link to that. Stephanie B says the counterweights are getting loaded now. That is fantastic news. It's been raining a lot the past few days. Yeah, it really has been raining a lot in general. Hey, take a look at the screen. We got some headlights back up on that ship quick disconnect. So they're definitely still doing some work up there, whether they're installing lights or whatever the heck they're doing. But the ship is headed to pad B. Yep, that's the last pad for it to exist on as far as suborbital. But yeah, definitely not going to the OLM. They can't do much with it there. But it is going to the suborbital pad. I think we're probably just going to start referring to it as the ship test stand or just the suborbital pad. But who knows? Maybe the pad B nomenclature will still stick around. But yep, it's over there. It's gonna head over there. That mud, right? Yeah, wild, 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 wild. As you can see, there was some folks in a lift there working on OLM. Crane is now just lifting the counterweight. It's going to be a while after the counterweights are installed. They have to change and tighten to the SPMTs. So yeah, it sounds like we'll be hanging out here for at least an hour. I'm going to be ready for breakfast by the time this thing gets down here. What time is sunset now? I mean, sunrise nowadays. I'm sure it's not until like 6:30 or something. We're not going to be here that late or that early. I hope. But heck, as long as we see Starship make it down here tonight, I'll be happy. I will be very pleased. What kind of stories do you want to hear? The only view I have is one SPMT. Lifting chains are being removed. I assume the other SPMT has its counterweights installed. Oh, that would be good. That would be good. Cool. Thanks for keeping us updated. Cool ones. Cool stories. I'm sure I have dozens and dozens of stories down here. But a lot of times those will just kind of come up naturally in conversation. But one thing I was thinking of on my way down here was I kind of miss the back in the old days when they would do the booster lifts onto the pad without the chopsticks. So they used to use a crane, and there would be like a dozen or half dozen people actually wrangling the booster onto the pad. Y'all remember that? They would use the guide wires, and they would just manually force the booster onto the pad, and it was really, really awesome to see people up on the pad. And then as the Raptors were slowly lowered into the pad, you could see the difference in height between the people and the Raptors, and it was really cool back in the day when they were doing all that stuff manually instead of using the chopsticks. That was insane. That felt like a different era down here. You need to have a drink so some of the good stories come out. I know, right? Exactly. Those do down here when we have some beach fires occasionally and have a couple beers on the beach, and then the stories start to flow for sure. The memories come back. But lots of fun nights out here at the beach. Lots of crazy stories. Lots of interesting people I've met down here from all around. We did see somebody get engaged. We saw a couple get engaged down here at one of the beach fires. That was fun. Lots of music, lots of drinking, lots of everything down here on the beach. Lots of getting people's cars unstuck. So if anybody's just joining us, we have a live view from Starbase here. We keep changing our camera angles just to keep things fresh and interesting while we're waiting for something very cool to happen. So if you're hanging tight, I would say it's worth it. Stay engaged and stay hanging out and watching the stream, because we're gonna see a giant rocket come driving down this road here in a little while. Might take a little bit for it to get here, but again, we're gonna see the second stage of the upper portion of the world's largest, most powerful rocket of all time, rolling right down this highway right next to us. Would pay $1 million to be in your location just to see the LV up close. Seeing this in live stream doesn't do it justice. Yeah, you have to come out at some point if you can. It's well worth it. Everything down here is so much different in real life than it looks like on the streams. I started watching the streams before I moved down here, so excuse me. I know exactly how that is, and then seeing it in real life, it's all so much different than you expect. It's cool. It's really cool. And it would cost you less than $1 million. We get a good view of Starhopper Hoppy on the left-hand side as well. Again, if you're not super familiar with all this stuff, that big cylindrical item on the left-hand side of the screen was actually the first vehicle that SpaceX built here and flew. They put a Raptor rocket engine on the bottom of that thing, and that thing flew up almost as high as the top of the tower, and came back down and landed, and now it's still hanging out here on the side of the launch complex down here on Boca Chica Beach at the Starbase launch complex. Oh, excuse me. It's that hour of the night, though. The yawns are gonna happen. That's just natural. Let me take a peek at the NSF feed, see how things are looking. Wow, it has some really cool lights on it. I'm so excited. This is gonna be so cool. I'm excited for this. I hope they can get this thing down here soon. The lights and everything look awesome. How long is the drive for me to get here? It's about 45 minutes or so. I would say 45. Brian says it's on my bucket list to see Starbase in person. Yeah, y'all definitely should. If y'all have the availability, the ability to get down here, you should absolutely make an effort to do it. It's well worth the experience. Tell the Nightbot to hit his own like button. I wish I brought snacks down here. I don't actually need snacks. Like, I ate dinner and everything, and I had plenty to eat in the evening. But sometimes when you're just sitting out here at Starbase, you just could snack on something. But yeah, as the crow flies from Starbase, I actually live pretty dang close. I live considerably, give or take about 12 miles away. I live about 12 miles away from Starbase as the crow flies. But, unfortunately, because of the channel, the shipping channel, the Brownsville shipping channel. I have to go around the whole channel, and it's like a 45-minute drive. If y'all are familiar, if any of you are familiar with, if you've been down here and you know where the checkpoint is, the border control checkpoint, that checkpoint, which is on Highway 4 on the way to Starbase, or the way out of Starbase, is actually further as the crow flies from Starbase Launchpad than my own apartment is. It's crazy how long it takes to get here just because I have to go around the channel. But it is what it is. I also looked at some apartments and some housing in Brownsville proper, which would remove some of the time from my commute to get down here to Starbase, which would be nice. But there's some benefits of living where I'm living. It's a little bit more comfortable and more less busy, more comfortable, and I get some water nearby and stuff, like the bay and everything, which is really nice. So it's worth the extra little bit of a drive. Boca Chica is 14 kilometers from you, 8,500 miles from Stephanie B. Wow. It's quite the distance, Apologize for the yawn, but it's 2:27 a.m., so there's only so much I can do about yawning. I'm going to bring you up close to the OLM. They're doing some work up on the OLM. Let me bring you into that. Looks like maybe some work to the booster disconnect. You'll be able to view the construction of the LNG terminal. Yeah, yep. I won't be surprised if there's a photo shoot in front of the gateway sign for a later promo video. That's a really good point. I considered setting up a camera over there, but it would be hard to do at night and get the gateway to Mars sign and stuff. Oh, I have something else cool to show y'all. 1 second. Folks, this lift just showed up. I don't exactly know what they're gonna do with it, but I don't know if they're gonna try to lift some equipment out of this general area. I don't think they're gonna move that tank or anything. I think that's there. I don't think that they could move that even if they wanted to. But it looks like that they might be trying to move some stuff out of the way that would be in the way of them bringing the vehicle into the complex here. Let's see what they end up doing or where they end up going. And he's gone. Maybe. But yeah, I will definitely set up, next time there's a daytime rollout, I'm going to try to set up some cameras to get the booster or the ship to drive by the gateway to Mars sign. I think that would be really, really cool. So again, these could be more preparation for the arriving ship. They might be moving some stuff out of the way so the ship can move through the entrance to the launch complex here, because this area is right at the entrance, so the ship needs to go through here. Oh yeah, they're definitely moving some stuff. Cool. This is a good sign. This is a good sign. They're cleaning up the area a little bit. I'll zoom out a little bit to give you more context to what we're looking at. So from that little hut on the right-hand side to the left, that is the area. This is the opening that the ship will need to go through on the SPMTs. So they're giving out as much space as they can. Back up to the OLM, it looks like they're still doing some work up there. For the past week, there are new high-pressure tanks N2 sitting in front of the water deluge, but haven't been hooked up. No one, even on the RGV Weekly update, noticed them and talked about them. Ooh, interesting. That's very interesting. Bad place for that guard check. Yeah, that's going to move for sure. I don't think that's going to stay there. I think it's going to be shifted further to the right, probably. Continuing to check in on the NSF feed just to see if we see any indication of some more movement of the ship. Doesn't look like it quite yet, but all things are still pointing at there being a imminent rollout. So we are just hanging tight and hoping that begins soon. In the meantime, we got some live views of work happening to the orbital launch mount. Potentially the booster quick disconnect. The crane is attached to a second set of weights, but it has not yet lifted them up onto the SPMT. Okay, gotcha. So we'll need to see that happen before they get on the move. Still work going up on the ship quick disconnect on the QD arm as well. So OLM work on both sides, OLM work on top. I don't see any work happening on the chopsticks at the moment. QD arm work is happening. Some folks on the tower going up and down as well. And looks like people clearing out the area for the arrival of a Starship, hopefully in the next hour or so. Man lift with 2 people are very close to the ship's wing. Interesting, interesting. I have a work meeting in 5 hours. So in 5 hours, I have to go to a work meeting. Great. Some vehicles coming back to the launch complex from the build site. Let's see what they are. They're taking pictures. Gotcha. Just a truck that looks like it could pull a trailer and a pickup truck. Crane has lifted another set of weights under tension, not moving. Okay. Checking in on our battery. We still have 76%. Plenty of battery to go for tonight. We should last technically probably another 7 hours or more. 7 or 8 hours we could go. So we are golden. My battery, personally, is a little bit lower. I'm a little tired, but we're going to see this thing through for at least a while. I guess my hard cutoff is probably like 5 a.m. I'll need to get home for that meeting. We might be pulling an all-nighter tonight, folks. But I'm dang excited for this thing to actually roll out here. I want to see all the Christmas lights and everything on it. Sounds so cool. Let's happen. Make it happen. Do it. All right, I'm gonna. We still see a couple people working up on the OLM, but we're gonna adjust a little bit here. Some people taking a look underneath the OLM. Again, maybe even on that booster quick disconnect to the bottom of it. I see that they're lifting up that weight right now, so they could be hopefully wrapping up prep to get this thing rolling in the next little bit here. Talking about the counterweights, I believe, on the SPMTs. Oh, it seems like it's lifting it off of the SPMT? Interesting. That's an interesting... If that's true, that could be interesting. We'll see, we'll see. Sounds good. You are reviewing the video. Oh, I'm looking at it right now as well. Oh god, they have a freaking inflatable snowman that just did something funny. But it looks like that weight is no longer attached, so that could be good. That could be good. El Hungaro is here. The crane was tension on a set of weights, then released it, moved to the other side of the ship, and pick up another set of weights. Okay, okay. Damon says I could really use some zero gravity these days. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's hope they're close to wrapping up the preps to get these SPMTs on the road. The wall gets in the way? Gotcha. Makes sense, makes sense. Crane has released the load. Nice, nice. I think somehow we're going to end up in a situation where the ship arrives at the launch complex at 4:20 a.m. I just feel like that's about to happen. I hear grinding on the tower. Where do we have that grinding from? If it's anything I can see, I'll bring you in to see what's happening. Santa is being placed on top of the weights. Okay, okay. Good sign. I don't see where that grinding is coming from quite yet. Almost a comedy show over there. They're moving 2 blow-up Santas out of the way to install another set of weights. Oh, wow. These people are no longer on this lift that we were watching. Let me see if I can move the camera up a little bit. Not exactly sure where they went, but they're in there somewhere. I see some stuff moving around. Are they going to move this tank? There's no way, right? Oh, we got a sheriff pulling in. One end has a light tree and a human-sized Santa that moves a little. The other, with the weights, very large blow-up Santas. Interesting. Hey, folks, it looks like they're actually going to try to... I guess they're going to try to lift this tank out of the way. I wouldn't have imagined that this tank could be moved with that lift. But, sure enough, that's what's happening. Two snowmen, one with a black hat and the other with a red hat. Gotcha. All right, let's see how this lift maneuver goes here. Again, clearing more space. This is great. This is a great sign that they are moving things out of the way so the ship can get in. This is quite the... Wow. Are they just going to push it? Oh, they're just pushing it in a little bit, giving it some more clearance. Wow, look at that. Efficiency. What I'm watching is a lot more interesting. This is quite interesting, I must say, actually. I am intrigued by this maneuver that they're doing. I hope that tank doesn't have anything in it. That looks like plenty of room for the SPMT to get through now. That it definitely looked too close earlier, but now I would say that looks like there's probably enough room for the SPMT to get through. So now, hopefully they are just about ready to go. I've been saying that, but we'll see. That was cool, though. That was cool to see them move that. Now what is he doing? Oh my goodness. The weights on the back end or front end are set in place. There is a bunch of chains given to staff for tightening. Cool. Very good. Oh yeah, moving more pipes out of the way there or something. Oh, that whole manifold or whatever the heck we're looking at. Snowmen are being held up by one person. Two people. Much wider gap now. Snowmen are not cooperating. These are things that you don't expect to hear during a SpaceX coverage stream. That's funny. All right, now look at that. Look at that. Plenty of space for the SPMT to get in there. At least, I hope at the entrance they have enough room. They have enough room past the entrance now, but the entrance still looks a little tight. But where that big tank was, that's plenty of space cleared out, so that's good. Let me check in and see how we're doing on Twitter and X and all that good stuff. Looks like everybody's asleep over there on X right now, probably. Alright, they just need to... I hope that they have other things that they're working on while they try to figure out those snowmen. I hope that's not being held up by the snowmen right now. The resume for this... resume for this worker must be able to handle blow-up characters. I bet it's not on his job description. He must be thinking, what the heck am I doing right now? Thanks for the stream. A little warmer out there tonight. Hey, Megan. It is. It's much warmer tonight. It's not too bad at all. It's probably in the 70s. High 60s, low 70s. Very humid. So it's kind of like a cool humid. So, yeah. I don't know if I would call it super nice out, but it's way nicer than it was that night. A large coil of light have been handed up to the staff to put around the snowmen. Oh, man. Ugh, I wish they would just get it on. We have 4.5 hours until I have to be in my meeting. So they have about 2 more hours to get it down here before I need to leave. So hurry up, SpaceX. Now the real question is, if they get the ship out here, can they do a spin prime on it by Friday? That'd be cool. And then I'll be heading out after Friday for some time with family for the holidays. So I want to see them get some stuff done between now and Saturday morning. The female snowman, also known as a snow woman, is standing up as well. The man version keeps falling down. Hopefully this is not a wet dress rehearsal. I guess I can move the camera again now, huh? Some tracking shots of the elevator, a little tracking practice for me. Glad the tower elevator works now. Yeah, me too. I think this is a temporary one. I could be wrong though. Oh, SpaceX, come on, roll this thing out. I'm ready. Make it happen. We have an update from Shard Baby. Y'all probably know Shard, also known as Steven Shard. We have an update from Steven Shard. Shard says the SPMT under Starship 28 has been started up, and the driver has been spotted for rollout. Make sure you're following Steven Shard on X for further updates. You can find Steven on X at the Steven Shard. So that's good news. Again, the SPMT under Ship 28 has started up, and the driver has been spotted for rollout. So this is a good indication. Sounds like we might be getting this rollout started soon. I'm going to be a lot happier when this thing's officially on the road. And once we see this thing coming down here, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It'll be all worth it. And I have a couple cameras I want to get set up. And then we'll be good to go. Well, that's fine, but there's still staff on the backside working on lights. Come on, SpaceX. I'm sure it's good enough. Send it. Or FTS. Oh, and it's starting to sprinkle here as well. If it starts raining, that could be bad. Seriously, they're still tightening chain cables from the counterweight to the transport stand. Damn. At least it appears that they're done setting up the snowmen. That's good. That is good news. They needed to do this stuff earlier. Absolutely. They definitely could have done this earlier. Looking at the weather radar, and there's a couple random cells. Not too worried about it yet, but as long as I don't build up more. And then in a little while, though, there's more. Yeah, this could get weird. It's gonna be less than ideal if we need to put the camera in the Jeep, but I will be able to pull it off if we need to pivot and put the camera in the Jeep because it's downpouring. We absolutely can do that. We still should be able to get a shot, but hopefully I don't need to do that. I go for a hot dog right now. I don't know why, but I could just go for a hot dog. It sounds so good. Alright, are they done fiddling with this thing yet? I'm up late, not early. I haven't gotten to bed yet. And I have a meeting in 5 hours. 4 hours. I have a meeting in 4 hours. My pleasure, my pleasure. Andrew, I remember this hour of the day, coming up from a party or a late movie, going to Denny's and ordering a pizza. Oh my goodness, absolutely. I'm right there with you. Absolutely. It is about that time of the night and / morning where, yep, I found myself in Denny's a lot of times at this hour back in the day, back in the college days. So we have passed the end of the intermittent road delay, but don't take that too seriously. I do think that SpaceX is still preparing for this rollout tonight, this morning, whatever it is. I think they're still going to go with it. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to find out, but dedication or Andrew and I are very dumb. Probably a little bit of both. We're probably a little crazy, aren't we? County sheriff is going to arrest old Frosty for violating curfew. Oh boy. They gotta ship this thing. They gotta just come on. Let's just go SpaceX. It's 3:13. If it's not on the road by 3:15, I'm gonna be angry. I bet you it's gonna roll. It's gonna show up at the build site, at the launch site at 4:20. It's gonna leave at 3:20, and then it's gonna show up at 4:20. Hey, Cosmic, how's it going? Cheers, good to see you. Never had so many scrubs in my life in the last 4 days. Falcon Heavy and Starlink. Been down at the Cape twice, but scrub after scrub finally got this old. Dang, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear about that, El Hungaro. It's part of the game, though, unfortunately. Megan, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that very, very much. We appreciate you. Megan, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate the dedication. Let's go rolling, SpaceX. Let's get rolling, SpaceX. Absolutely. It's never-ending comedy. It wouldn't surprise me that SPMT's run out of power midway with all the extra lighting, right? Stephanie B says they're adding more lights on the SPMT. Oh my goodness. Let's go. SPMTs are diesel powered. Yeah, maybe they'll run out of diesel. Oh man. Any news, Andrew, when Falcon Heavy would launch? Not too sure. I've had a busy couple days at work, so I haven't really been paying too close of attention to the Falcon Heavy stuff. I did see that it was scrubbed multiple times. So I'm not entirely sure. Did I hear that? Did I hear correctly that the Falcon Heavy was rolled back? Oh, there's another lift going up right here. Falcon Heavy isn't even scheduled on anymore. TBA, dang. Yeah, so I wouldn't count on it anytime imminently. Unfortunately. That stinks. That stinks. That is too bad. It was freezing cold and windy down in Titusville the other day. Dang. I've been on a project where the integration issues that crop up last moment. Yikes. Doesn't sound fun. Oh, I hope they don't. I was just thinking, I hope they don't just wait till sunrise, but it would be silly for them to, it'd be silly for them to put all that work into putting all those lights in just to have sunrise come. But maybe if they leave before sunrise, maybe by the time they get down here it will be sunrise. I don't know. Issue with Falcon Heavy is ground equipment. Payload remains healthy. That's good to know. Was rolled back this evening. Yeah. Yeah. Broken. I'm gonna have to open chat in a different window here. But yeah, let me know if you can hear me. It looks like we had a significant Starlink outage just there. "24/7 caregiver. Time to put my client to bed." Gotcha, gotcha. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. We've always planned to do other stuff in Rocket City, Titusville whenever we're down there. Rocket launch is a very short event most of the time. Very true, very true. Oh, we're moving. It's moving, it's moving, it's moving, folks. The rollout has started. Let me know if y'all can, you can still hear me. Give me a 5x5 in chat. S28 has started moving. And we should be getting a view of S28 arriving to the launch complex in just a little bit here. 10-4, nice. 5x5, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. A couple Starlink drops, but it looks like we're back. And S28 is moving, so we should see its arrival here in less than an hour. Less than an hour. Hopefully even much quicker than that. gonna make some camera maneuvers here. I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna move my vehicle just forward a little bit more just to make sure I'm out of the way here. So give me a minute, folks. I'm gonna actually take the camera down for a second. Camera's coming back up in just a second here. Alright, I just wanted to make sure that I saw another SpaceX employee move their car, so I just wanted to make sure I was far enough out of the way. All right, all right. Ship 28 is continuing to move. This is a great sign, great sign. I'll try to update the ship tracker as it gets closer and closer. El Hungaro is a caretaker as well. El Hungaro sees Hoppy. Yep, Hoppy is making a debut. Padre cams are the best right now. Nice, nice. Moving forward now. Good, good. I can pop over to the lab ones and see those as well. Moving full speed. All right, S25 is on its way. At full speed. Awesome. Sounds good. Talk to you soon, Tony. It is moving. It is moving, folks. We should see it arrive here in, I don't know, about a half hour or so, give or take. .432 in Jackson, Florida. Florida. It has music playing? Oh boy. We're gonna get DMCA'd. That's funny. Stephanie B is a live-in carer for a blind client. Wow, look at you folks. You guys are doing some great work out there and helping a lot of people. That's amazing. That's really cool to hear that that y'all are doing some really important work. All right, ship 28 is passing by the Star Factory, it looks like. So it is well on its way out of the gate of the build site, and it is moving at a pretty good pace down towards where we are here. Still take a little bit for it to get here, but we're going to stick with you until it's here. We have to at this point. We are now officially on the road. I will still occasionally pan the camera back to the orbital launch mount or tower when I see something exciting happening, but we are kind of going to stay in this default position with the camera facing up the highway unless there's something specifically interesting on the OLM or tower that I see. So if I see something, we're going to switch over to those views, but we'll keep these views as our kind of default so we can see the ship as it arrives here in just a little while. Lots of respect for Stephanie B in chat. Love to see it. Love to see it. El Hungaro says takes a lot of dedication. Damon says respect. Alright, so now that Ship 28 is officially on its way to the launch complex, we can talk a little bit about what the plan SpaceX has for Ship 28. Now, of course, we don't know exactly what the plan is. but it is our understanding, the community's understanding, that most likely Ship 28 will be the next one to fly on a fully integrated flight test. Most likely IFT-3. It should probably be joined by a Booster 10. So we're talking about a Booster 10, Ship 28. Did I say 25 or 28 earlier? But Booster 10, Ship 28 full stack is most likely what we're going to see for the next IFT-3 integrated flight test. Now, before that, of course, Ship 28 has to go through some testing. The Booster 10 will have to go through some testing as well. But Ship 28 is on its way down to the launch complex right now. We should see that arriving shortly. Or, maybe not exactly shortly, but in a few minutes. And now when it gets here, they will likely hook it up to the suborbital pad, and in coming days or weeks, they will do spin prime and static fire testing, most likely. Or maybe they'll move right to static fire testing. We just don't know. So once static fire testing happens, I expect them just to do all 6 engine static fire test, and then we'll see what other tests that they want to do on this thing. And then I would expect Booster 10 to make its way down, the upgrades to the OLM and the GSE, replacing the tanks, not replacing the tanks, but upgrades to the GSE and the hippos and everything. I would expect all the testing for that to be completed. Then we want to see Booster 10 here and going through its static fire campaign. Once Ship 28 and Booster 10 completed their static fire campaign, next thing we want to keep an eye out is for when the anomaly investigation is done from the FAA for the last flight test, and then we can start thinking about our next launch date, hopefully in the next month or two. That would be pretty exciting. I think it's not going to take so long until our next flight as it did last time. So this is the first step in that whole process, so we're excited to see Ship 28 make its way down here and begin its testing campaign. Road closures. We'll take a look at the road closures in a little bit to see if there's any road closures scheduled for Friday. I don't know if there is that on the top of my head, but if there is, that would be cool if they could get this thing all hooked up and go for like a static fire or something Friday. I doubt it, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a spin prime test on it within the next few business days. Now I will be out of town starting Saturday for a little bit while I visit my family for the holidays, but I should still be able to host some live streams for y'all of those tests that happen. We're still working on the details of those and some technical challenges there, but I do plan to be able to host some testing streams with live views of Starship and Starbase, even though I won't be down here for a few days. So it's going to be cool to kind of close that gap. I'd like to get to the point where, I'm always going to be based out of here for the near future, out of Starbase. But if I'm traveling or at home, I don't want to give up the streams when I'm away. So I want to keep these streams coming for y'all. So more on that soon. More on that soon. We have a sheriff making its way down here pretty quickly. Oh, yep. Getting the road closed to make sure that nobody drives that way. All right, we are in the official state of being ready to receive this ship. I'm excited. Still a little bit of time before the ship gets here, but it is making progress. So we're just going to hold tight until that happens. Yazada says, just watch S28 Christmas float roll out on Lab Padres Rover 1 cam. When it gets here, it'll be a sight to behold. I'm excited. I am excited to see it. This is going to be really cool. I'm very excited to see what kind of decorations and everything they put on it. I saw some spoilers, but it'll be cool in real life. Heard some sirens. She's on a hold. She's not moving. It looks like she's moving again. Ship 28 is on its way and actively moving. At least I just refreshed my stream that I'm watching for NSF, and it looks like it stopped, but it looks like it's moving right now, which is good. For anybody who's joining us in a little bit, we're going to see the second stage, the upper stage of the Starship launch vehicle, also known, this upper stage is just itself known as Starship, but it is the upper stage of the world's largest, most powerful rocket of all time, and it's going to be driving by this highway right here, right next to us. It must have gotten pulled over. That would have been fun. That's funny. Write a ticket. Taillight out or something. Yazada says, appears to be stopped by the Star Factory. Did it stop again? I think it's moving right now. Based on my feed. Still moving on Megan's end as well. Yeah, I think it's rolling. I think it definitely stopped at one point. But it's rolling. In the meantime, I'm still taking a look over on the OLM and the on the tower. Nothing super of note or nothing super exciting to show y'all, so I'm just keeping the live views up the highway. Yazada thinks Lab's Sentinel cam is frozen. Gotcha. Another sheriff coming down the highway right now. Start using some of their lights to get my exposure and stuff right. So I'm gonna adjust exposure back up, but I'll adjust it back down when it's close. So this is the configuration I should have when it's here. So we gotta go down to a shutter speed of 1 out of 250. 1/250. When it gets closer. Looks like the booster's about to move past the Flaps restaurant, so I got my the location up on the top right here, up screen. Approximate Starship location, that should be about right now. And it should start coming down that highway, and it usually speeds up a bit when it's on that straightaway. The parade audience of cones. I love it. like to give an epilepsy warning. If anybody is sensitive to blinking lights, there is going to be quite a bit of blinking lights throughout the rest of this stream. So if you have a history of epilepsy, please note. Starship S28 continues to make its way towards us, where we are at the launch complex here at Starbase. It's well on its way. I think it's already made it past the turn, if anybody can tell. I think I'm going to update our location, approximate location here. Put a little bit further up that highway. So they're making good progress towards their arrival to where we are. Past the turn, moving into the straight stretch, says Yazada. Very good, very good. Now, this is the part we have to kind of guess. It's hard to tell where it is on this straightaway a lot of the times until it's right on top of me. Just using the lab mobile to test my focus a little bit. Cosmic singing. Here I am on the road again. For anybody just joining us, thanks for hanging out. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. We are now just a few minutes away from Starship S28, the upper stage of this giant, massive rocket. World's largest, most powerful rocket of all time. The second half of it, the top half of it, is going to be driving right by us on this road here. We're going to see this big, beautiful view of Starship arriving at the launch complex down here at Starbase. Just a few minutes away from that moment. We've been waiting here all night for it, and we're almost there. Sounds like there's a lot of cool Christmas decorations or holiday decorations on the base of the SPMTs, or those self-propelled modular transporters. Those are the vehicles that are actually driving the giant rocket down here. So we're hanging out here waiting for those views. They should be coming in just a few minutes. They're making some good progress down this straightaway. So hold tight, and in 20 or 30 minutes we should have these views, maybe even sooner. I won't go too far. They're making a lot of progress quickly. Santas and reindeer and icicles. It sounds like we're in store for some cool decorations. Got some views of Hoppy, Starhopper in the meantime. Snowflake projection on the ship. Love the Bob Seger reference, Cosmic. says Megan. So hard to tell how far they are here. Looks like they're not quite done with the OLM. Yeah, they got some more work to do with the OLM for sure. Nice to see the booster roll down. That would be cool. That would have been cool. Someday we'll see a double rollout like that. That'll happen. Probably sooner than later. Oh, it looks like they're getting pretty dang close. If anybody is joining us on any of the other platforms, thank you for joining us. We are live on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch, and I think some others as well. So thanks everybody for joining us here on the Rocket Future. Make sure you follow, subscribe, whatever the platform that you're watching on supports. There is free follow options on all the platforms pretty much, and also paid options as well if you like what we're doing here and you would like to see bigger and better content from Rocket Future. So we're hanging out here tonight at Starbase, getting you these live views at 4:07 in the morning. Haven't slept yet, and I have a meeting in 3.5 hours. But I'm having fun. I'm glad I'm out here for y'all. I'm glad I'm out here for myself as well. This is, again, a historic moment of Starship S28. Hopefully, potentially the first Starship to reach its destination on its next in-flight test, or its integrated flight test. So could be an important ship for all we know. This could be the first one to make it off to the coast of Hawaii, if that's what they're going for again on this next test. Cool stuff, cool stuff. They're getting close to the new sign gateway to Mars. That's going to look cool in front of that. I would be willing to bet they might even stop in front of that for a little bit. But yeah, I thought about putting some cameras out for that, but that camera opportunity, but I don't know that I had the right equipment to make it happen. I would do it. I could do it in the daytime though. I will definitely do a rollout camera that has the Gateway of Mars sign in the background during a daytime rollout sometime. And sometime at night too, probably, but... Welcome, Barnabas. Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're just a few minutes away from seeing Starship S28 arrive here at the launch complex here at Starbase. We're going to have awesome views. Welcome in. We have some people popping in from Hungary. This looks like the space community, or space junkie community popping in. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Again, just a few minutes away from Starship S28's arrival here to Launch Complex. I would guess it's probably going to be another 15 minutes or so. Welcome in everybody, welcome in everybody. Trying to see if I can make out the ship with my own eyes yet, but there is a pretty heavy layer of fog. But hypothetically, if the fog and this big light weren't blinding me, I think I would be at the point where I could probably make out the ship from here so far. But not quite yet, but it's getting close. It is definitely getting a lot closer. I don't even know if I have a commands command. That's a good point, Megan. I should do that. But most of our commands are just supporting... Oh, hey, look at that. There's a link there. Supporting local other channels. And some regulars on the channel as well. That's good to know. I didn't even know that that was a thing. Learn something new every day. What do you think how long the rollout lasts? I would say another 15 or 20 minutes, I think. Hopefully that's over exaggeration. Maybe it'll be less than 15 or 20 minutes, but I would say to be safe, maybe 15, 20 minutes. It's really hard to tell exactly where it is, but it definitely looks like it's getting close. The way it's gonna happen is all of a sudden we're gonna see it, and it's gonna be really, really close. It's hard to see how far it is. The blinking light on the crane that you see, actually you can't quite see it in this angle. It's just barely behind the Rocket Future sign. That gives a little context of where we're at. I'm looking at the NSF feed, and the ship is still to the right side of that, so it's still a distance away. I would say it's probably pretty close to being a little bit further until it's behind Hoppy. Oh, I'm feeling some raindrops. Hopefully it's just a couple drops. That'd be bad timing. Let me look at the weather. Actually, my other phone is being prepared to shoot video, so I'm not going to look at the weather. There is a couple cells that could pose a rain issue. Let's hope they hold out for a little bit, though. That would be bad timing. El Hungaro's awake, gonna make a cup of coffee. 5:18 a.m. here in Jacksonville, says El Hungaro. On the NSF stream that I'm watching, the Starship is quickly approaching the Gateway to Mars sign. Tony is back. Welcome back, Tony. Good timing. Just a little bit longer, another 15 minutes or so, and we should see the ship start to approach us. El Hungaro with the super sticker. Thank you very much, El Hungaro. Thank you for your support here. We appreciate you very much. Tony is reporting that it's 2:18 a.m. in Los Angeles, where they are from. 9:18 p.m. in Australia, where Stephanie B is from. Yeah, Zada hasn't gone to sleep yet either. Zada's watching from San Jose, California. Welcome, David. Tony also liked the joke about Starship getting pulled over. With all those lights on it, you would think it would get pulled over. As you can see in the top right hand of your screen, I am updating the location. It is getting pretty close. Welcome, Vagyok. Tony says there's 30 likes, and then there's 37 watching. Very good. Thanks, everybody, for the likes on the stream. If you haven't liked yet, please go ahead and do that. It helps us a lot, and it's free for you to do. Huge shout out to everybody with a super chat so far today. Oh, and another super chat coming through from Barnabas. Thank you so much. Appreciate that very, very much. Tony says we either like you, Andrew, or we are all nuts. I think we're all a little bit nuts, but I appreciate y'all being here. We can be a little bit crazy together as a community here. Jimatek is here. Welcome, Jimatek. Good to see you, Jimatek. Gurgly is here. Gurgly, welcome. Y'all are coming at a good moment, a good time here, as Starship is getting pretty close to us. We should start to see it pretty soon. Another 10 minutes or so, we should start to see Starship. And do as Nightbot says, don't forget to like, subscribe, chat, and share. All of these things help the channel grow and reach more folks like you. So just by interacting with us here in our stream, you might help somebody else find their passion for spaceflight. Big shout out again, anybody who's donated in super chats or super stickers today. We appreciate y'all. That money's going right back into the channel. Space Junkie says, "Hey Andrew, thank you for the stream on behalf of the entire Hungarian community. It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure. It's good to see the Space Junkie community here. Thank you." Big shout out to Stephanie B as well for being our loyal moderator. We've had Stephanie B as our moderator for quite a while now. Stephanie B, we appreciate you very much, especially during these late night streams. Stephanie holds the fort down, so we appreciate Stephanie. I can call you Gary. Sounds good, Gary. Good to see you. Barnabas is also Hungarian. Welcome, Holly Brick. For everybody just joining, we should have really, really amazing views of Starship S28 arriving here at the Starbase launch complex in about 10 minutes or so. Maybe even less. I just peeked around the corner a little bit as much as I could to see if I can make Starship out yet, and I can't quite make it out. It's just a bit foggy, but it should be popping out through that fog pretty dang soon here. It's getting pretty close to that Gateway of Mars sign, which means it's real close to us as well. We got a sheriff vehicle coming up, probably to make sure that it's clear. Another reminder that there is going to be a lot of flashing lights for the remainder of the stream, so a little bit of an epilepsy warning if you have history with that. Hey there, Ronald. Welcome in. Welcome, Ronald. The squid to lift S28 is at the launch site. Good to know. That's very good to know. So they probably won't waste much time to get that squid installed and get Ship 28 on the suborbital pad. Probably first thing in the morning if I had to guess. Lots of cars, trucks behind the caravan. I guess workers waiting to get to the pad. Absolutely. LS would be the launch site, most likely. I think that's what Stephanie meant. Just out of curiosity, I want to see how latency is, how long it takes for y'all to hear me. So when you hear me say the word now, I'll say the word now in a second. When you hear me say the word now, say, I guess say now in chat. So you ready? 3, 2, 1, now. Say now in chat now. Gotcha. Smooth Juice is here. Welcome, Smooth Juice. Smooth Juice says boo. I think S28 will need the squid to be lifted by its hooks from the top. Is that correct? I know that's what ships have done in the past, but I also know that there are also changes to those processes sometimes. Tony says, I thought the lifting bar is now used. Gotcha. Several second delay built in. Yeah, and I have it set to not the lowest latency. I have it set to a medium latency, which is more resilient to like dropouts, I think, and less buffering. S29 will need the new lifting frame. Gotcha. Folks, I'm really expecting Ship 28 to pop out of this fog and around this corner really any minute now. I think we're just minutes away from this activity now, driving right by us, Starship S28. Lab Padre is 10-second difference than your time. Gotcha. S29 will need the new... Oh, I read that. Where's the ship? It's got to be so dang close. I should be able to see it at this point. They'll tile over S28's lifting points once it's off of pad B. Makes sense. Pretty sure S28 has no lifting connections for the squid, says Smooth Juice. That will be the latency time. That makes sense. Hasn't arrived at the gateway sign, but is getting close. Gotcha. Lab cam shows right in front of the gateway to Mars sign, not far behind these cars. Cool. Sounds great. Should be approaching relatively quickly here. Stephanie B says Andrew could zoom in on the lifting points for us as S28 gets close. Might be tough with the angle, but we'll have to see. If I can, I will. Cybertruck still there? No, no Cybertruck. They're not stopping at the sign, progressing onward. Ship is now out of frame. Awesome. So we should be seeing it. Alright, you can now see Starship S28 making its way out from behind Hoppy. So it is has one more corner to turn, and then it will be coming right down past us and into the entrance of the launch facility, where it'll most likely make its way over to the suborbital pad, and we'll see from there. You can barely just see it in the back there. Let me play with some exposure a little bit. You might be able to actually see it a little bit better, but it is it's going to be here in probably about 5 to 8 minutes. Getting that early morning fog view, yeah, that's for sure. There's definitely a moisture layer here. There you go. Now you should really be able to make that out. S28 has had 2 cryo tests and no static fires or spin primes. Yeah, hopefully that's good to know. It's done 2 cryos. That's pretty good. And hopefully we'll see some spin primes or static fires in coming days. That would be great. Tony says we can see it. Very good, very good. Alright, from this point forward, I'm pretty much just going to be on the camera controls and controlling the camera, so I hope y'all enjoy. If you haven't been paying attention, now is the time to tune back in. Starship S28 is in eyesight and is going to be passing right by us in just a few minutes here. So here we go, folks. Hope y'all enjoy. Thanks for hanging out with us so far. It's finally here after a few hours here, so let's do this. All right, everybody, as you can see, SpaceX's Starship S28 vehicle has made it down from the build site down to the launch site here. Just made its turn right in and is now heading towards the suborbital test stand, where it will hopefully begin the rest of its test campaign shortly. So we'll keep this live view on it for a little bit. We'll see it go right up to the test stand, and hopefully we'll be able to see some spin primes and static fires in coming days or weeks. Anybody knows when the next road closure is, let us know. Is there one scheduled for Friday? Because it would be pretty cool to see some testing happening on Friday. The lighting conditions are always tough to get especially the top half of these vehicles when they're rolling here at night. But we got some great shots of the bottom piece of the vehicle and the SPMTs, and of course all the decorations and everything that they have around on the SPMTs. So very, very cool rollout. Another one in the books, and we're going to be hanging out for just a little bit while longer while we see where this thing ends up, and then we'll probably start talking about wrapping things up here shortly, just because it's 5 a.m., haven't slept yet, and I have a work meeting in 2 hours. So yeah, we'll hang out for a little bit longer and then close things up. But thanks, y'all, for joining so far, and I'll check back in with you just a couple minutes after I check some stuff out here. All right, checking in with everybody here. How are we doing? How are we doing? It looks very sci-fi coming out of the fog, all shiny like that. So Ziazada. She's all yours now, Andrew. You can see the inflatable snowman. Wish I was there. SPMT covered with Christmas lights. Thanks for the shots. Fancy SPMTs. That's brilliant. So the guys are wearing Christmas hats. Yeah, that was cool. I like that. Nice views. Appreciate all the words here. Smooth Juice says thank you. No, thank you. You know, this parade is for us. There's no other employees out here to see this. It's for the benefit of the live streams. Absolutely. And I'm sure they're shooting video as well for themselves, but absolutely. El Hungaro. And right now you have the best shots and coverage. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. SpaceX SPMTs beat the ones that brought the large tanks that can do circles around the... Yeah, right? It's pretty wild. It's 8 a.m. Next road closure is December 14th, 8 a.m. Oh, no. Oh, no. Just a couple hours from now. I believe they canceled today's 8 to 8 closure. I hope, I kind of hope they did. But, you know, for the sake of the program, you know, maybe they can get this thing tested today. But I would rather them wait till Friday for personal reasons. Let me zoom in on that ship for you. checking on the road closures of whether or not there's one today or not. December 14th was revoked. Okay, so currently there is no road closure scheduled. So we'll have to see when SpaceX schedules the next road closures. It would be cool to see something happen Friday. I don't know how realistic that is, but hey, you never know. But yeah, with all that said, I think we're going to wrap things up here. It's 5 a.m. I have a meeting in 2.5 hours. So I got to get wrapped up and get out of here pretty quickly. So thanks everybody so much for hanging out in today's stream. Was a long build up for a pretty awesome rollout. So appreciate everybody hanging out. And S28 has made its way, and it's now here at the launch complex. It's going to go on to suborbital pad, the ship testing stand, and hopefully we'll see some testing happen. Again, this is just one step in the next few steps to get this thing launched, and hopefully this will be the next thing to launch on IFT3 along with booster number 10. So thank you everybody who has hung out. Thanks to everybody who chatted, who shared, who we got some super chats and donations. Thank you everybody who helped us out with that. And that's it. Thanks everybody. We'll catch you next time. I'm gonna very quickly potentially put a video up on X in the next few minutes. Should just take about 5 minutes. So check my X. I might be able to get something up there. All right. Peace out, everybody. Talk to you next time. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. Peace out.